The walls of Outpost Verath 7 trembled with a sound like distant thunder. But the sky was clear, and the thunder was coming from inside the creature's chest. 3.5 meters of armored black death lay curled beside the station door, its massive head resting near a pair of scuffed human boots. Elena Marsh sat on the step above it, one calloused hand buried in the thick hide of its neck, scratching. The Kaoth purred. Desicorn's chest rumble hadn't stopped in 14 days. But it wouldn't stop now. A creature built to kill 2 military squads. And she was scratching it like a house pet. If you want to know how she did it, stay close. This story isn't finished yet. There was no coffee machine. That had been Elena's only complaint 3 weeks earlier when the transfer report arrived. Fauna cataloging, 6 months at a remote outpost. Thessic remembered processing her arrival documentation and thinking she wouldn't last 2 days. The shuttle wreckage changed everything. They had tracked Elena's biosignature to the crash site. Standard protocol. Check for survivors, log the dead. What he found instead was the human on her knees in the wreckage, cradling something small, dark, and whimpering. A Kaoth cub. 3 legs twisted at wrong angles. 8 meters of future apex predator crying like something broken. Leave it. His voice came through the radio, already knowing she wouldn't listen. The mother will come. You will die. Elena didn't respond. She tore her shirt into strips, quick, efficient movements, hands steady despite what she was holding, and splinted 3 shattered legs with fabric and wreckage debris. The cub's bioluminescent jaw streaks flickered weakly. It should have bitten her. Any Verath creature would have. Instead, it pressed its face into her neck. She carried it back to the station. The chest rumble started that night. Ghost, she called the cub that shouldn't exist, bonded to a creature that shouldn't have touched it. Elena fed it nutrient paste meant for small mammals, cleaned the wounds daily, changed the torn shirt bandages, and talked to it in a low voice it couldn't quite hear through the medbay walls. Sometimes she sang off-key human songs about rivers, mountains, and things that didn't exist on Verath 7. By day 7, the perimeter sensors lit up. Class 9 adult circling. He watched the readings with all 4 eyes, weapon-charged and useless. The mother, he said. Elena looked up from where Ghost lay pressed against her ankles. Following her, she realized 14 documented species lived on this planet. None of them followed. None pressed close. Good, Elena said. Then she'll find her baby safe and clean. She smiled, and the chest rumble deepened. Good first impression. 2 weeks. The adult circled for 2 weeks. Ghost's legs healed slowly, the torn shirt strips becoming part of the splints, becoming part of the cub. Elena slept on the medbay floor every night, one hand resting on the small armored body beside her. The cub's call started on day 15. A low keening sound Ghost made whenever Elena left the room. Protective instinct noted in reports, pack hierarchy forming, imprint complete. He didn't write what he actually thought. The human had made herself the cub's territory. Day 18. The adult breached the perimeter. The alarms screamed. He grabbed his weapon and ran, all 4 eyes tracking the nightmare moving through the compound. 3.5 meters of armored death, jaw streaks blazing red, territorial and focused, heading straight for the medbay. Elena stepped outside. No weapon, no armor, just Ghost cradled against her chest, bandages trailing. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't fighting, it's trusting. The adult Kaoth stopped. Finger hovered over the trigger. Every instinct screamed at him to fire. But Elena hadn't moved. She stood in the open, Ghost chirping softly against her chest. And the creature that had killed 2 military squads simply waited. The cub chirped again, a recognition sound. Thessic had heard it 100 times over the past weeks. Always directed at Elena. Now Ghost aimed it at the wall of armor and teeth standing 3 meters away. The adult's jaw streaks flickered red to orange, then dimmed. Elena raised her free hand, palm open. No threat display, no weapon. Just skin, calluses, and the thin silver chain at her throat catching the fading light. The Kaoth lowered its head. Thessic watched, chest rumbling, drowning out his own heartbeat, as Elena's palm met the creature's jaw. Her fingers spread across the bioluminescent streaks, touching the place where the kill light pulsed. The streaks went dark. First documented time. First in any encounter, report, or record across 12 years of Kaoth study. The light simply stopped. The adult lay down. Thessic's weapon fell to his side. He couldn't remember letting go. His hand wouldn't close properly. Elena sat on the step, Ghost still pressed to her chest, and began scratching the massive neck like she'd done it 1,000 times before. I kept her baby alive. Elena's voice was quiet, matter-of-fact. She didn't look at Thessic. That's not complicated. That's just being decent. The protective instinct worked both ways. He understood that now in a way no field manual had ever explained. Trust wasn't weakness. Trust was a biological transaction, and Elena had made the first payment in torn shirt strips and sleepless nights. He filed the report that evening. Took him 4 attempts. The words kept coming out wrong, too clinical, too distant from what he'd witnessed. Behavior, non-aggressive bonding. Precedent, none. Do not separate. The human is not captive. The Kaoth is the human's choice. Recommendation, reclassify human diplomatic capability. Current classification insufficient. He paused over that last line, deleted it, rewrote it, left it in. Headquarters would think he'd lost his mind. Evening settled over Verath Seven like a held breath. The jungle sounds had changed, softer now, less frantic. Even the wildlife knew something had shifted. He stood at the observation window, chest rumble finally quiet for the first time in weeks. Elena sat on the station step below, ghost curled in her lap. The cub's legs had healed, but the torn shirt strips remained. Not as bandages anymore, but as scars. Fabric woven into new growth. Permanent proof that someone had stayed. The adult Kaoth lay beside the door. Its Mino head near Elena's boots, eyes half closed. Its jaw streak stayed dark. The bonding scent hung heavy in the air. A smell he had learned to recognize, though he still couldn't name it properly. Elena's silver chain caught the last light. Her mother's. The only thing she'd brought from Earth. Nobody came to the station anymore. Supply drops landed at the perimeter and waited. Research teams requested transfers. Command sent concerned messages that went unanswered. Nobody needed to come. The Deathworlder had found her pack. The apex predator had found its territory. And somewhere in between, on a remote outpost that smelled like jungle rot and something almost like peace, a human had proven what no military squad ever could. Some creatures don't need to be conquered. They just need someone decent enough to stay. She kept a cub alive with torn cloth and stubbornness, and an apex predator chose her as family. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.